Welcome back, everybody, to No Offers. Today I got my boy James with me.
That's what's up. What's up?
So James, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Ah, shit. Well, my name is James, and I grew up in Eagle, LA, born and raised. And growing up, I was kind of a mixture of like, my hobbies are like chess and basketball.
Nice. Yeah.
I used to go to like those speed tournaments. I don't
know.
if
The
you guys
chess tournaments?
Yeah, I actually got like a bunch of those.
So you must be like, you were pretty good then, right?
Back in the day, I haven't been playing as much recently, but yeah, I'd say that was a big thing like growing up with that and basketball and just being a kid, and
yeah,
you don't really think about it too much.
Cause you're still pretty big in basketball, right? Like you used to play. I remember, I think we played once at like a social. And I think you were like doing all these like cool tricks or shooting from like half court and stuff like that. So you still keep up with like your basketball stuff, huh?
Yeah, I mean just not as much as I want to, but I try to go like once every other week or something like that. Just go to parks.
How'd you get into chess to begin with?
Honestly, I was pretty young, and I'm not like exactly sure like how I got started into it. But I know like my parents, they kind of like pushed me.
Oh, really?
To go into like different fields, like
that's good actually.
Like because I remember they put me in that. It was like a chess club thing, but then I guess my chess teacher ended up like passing away.
Oh, so then they canceled the club.
And then after that, I just kind of stopped, I think. But that could have been a potential route.
Yeah, I remember I got into chess pretty young too, like in elementary. And I think it started because I think just one of my teachers had like a chessboard. And she would let us play like after school.
Oh yeah. And
then all of a sudden, all these kids started buying like chessboards. I remember there was like a Mario Brothers chess.
Oh shit.
And that was pretty cool, man. Like everyone wanted to play with that, you know?
Yeah.
And I think I got pretty good, like for like my classroom.
Yeah.
But it would have been cool, like still playing like as an adult. I wonder how many cool strategies I could have found, you know?
Yeah, there's definitely different strategies, and there's still different like. There's so many ways to play. You can like play online too. Just,
that's true. We'll play online too. I remember. I think I learned playing because I really wanted to learn, right? But I would keep losing at school, so I would just. I remember I had a computer that my godfather actually bought for me, and I remember that they had a chess like game already in the computer.
Oh.
And I would just play there. That's how I learned like how the pieces move and things like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty strategized game.
Yeah. But how was it growing up in Eagle Rock?
I mean, you kind of get to know like kind of the people, like the community, because it's kind of like it's one of those things where it's like you see the same people, and it's like.
It's kind of like a suburb inside the city, right?
Yeah.
Like it's still a city, but it feels like...
It's like a town that...
Yeah.
Sometimes they'd be mentioning Eagle Rock, and people are like, oh, where's that? I'm like, oh, it's between Glendale and Pasadena, because it's not really well known. It's kind of like a...
Yeah.
Yeah, what you're saying, it's like a kind of a town. I would consider it like...
And I feel like also, because I've been to like your place, and I feel that the way you live, where you live, it's very different compared to where I live, because I feel like where I live, like there's people coming and going that aren't from here, but for your specific street and outside your house, I'm pretty sure the people that pass by live there, you know? Like there's no way to like, that could be a shortcut to go somewhere else. Like if you're passing through there, it's because you probably live around there, you know?
Yeah, just
like a big street or anything.
Yeah, I just know like Target is right there to the plaza, so sometimes I don't know if you
people get lost there?
Yeah, I don't know if you use like Waze right there, but sometimes I think Waze brings you to the shortcut because you use all the shortcuts right there.
Okay.
And there's always coyotes on your street though. I literally got home like at 2 a.m. or I'm leaving work like at 6 or 7 or something. You just see them like walking just to casually. It's like okay, yeah, because there's literally like a mountain that we used to go right there.
They look like very very skinny dogs, right?
Yeah,
coyotes.
Yeah.
I've seen some too, but
I've seen this one big one though.
Really?
I've been doing like Uber.
Like median.
Yeah, I've been doing like Uber Eats on the side, like a side hustle, and then I seen one like literally standing where I was supposed to drop off the food, and it was just like right there. Like what? But it was a medium one too, so I was like, is this the first Uber Eats delivery it's got?
Yeah, like probably if you're waiting for other Uber Eats people to get the food and then start start booking up.
The coyotes are getting smart.
Yeah. Let me just check something real quick.
For sure.
Let me check this thing is aligned. Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Like in the lighting.
Yeah, everything's good.
Sure.
All right, bro. So you mentioned that you do Uber Eats on the side, and I think that's something that I think fascinates me about you, is that you have like a lot of side hustles, right? Or like you have different ways to get income, right? Because from what I didn't know you do Uber Eats, but besides Uber Eats, I know you have like your main 9 to 5 job, and then you also have you rent out your car, right?
Yeah, I got it. The cards for their tour.
And then you're doing SquirrelTalk, right?
Yeah. I mean, with that one though, I still haven't technically monetized anything.
But it's just it's still like a side hustle that you're putting your time in, right?
Yeah.
So how do you manage to like is it just those four?
Well, I'm actually working at a yoga studio right now too.
Oh, too?
Yeah, it's more like the janitorial stuff. I just get like a discount on the membership, and like I'm actually signed up for next month. I'm gonna start like taking these like teacher trainings to be like an instructor. Well, I just started like in October, so I'm gonna see how that goes.
So different levels what has motivated you to have like all these different hustles?
Well, honestly, it was kind of the way that I was, I'd say, raised. Mm-hmm. I was just always like, my dad, he was kind of like a business oriented guy. Okay. And then he would kind of just always kind of like fixate that like, you got to get your career right, and then you what's it called? And then you kind of like, not settle down, but you can find like different like outlets of where you want to go with your life. Incomes, right? Yeah. And I do listen to like some other like podcasts and stuff like that, audiobooks. And I heard that a couple of times. I'm not sure if it was Warren Buffett or who said it, but it's like you have to have like your multiple streams of income that could eventually replace the one. And once it's like to there, then that's when you know, like, right, you don't need that one anymore. They say the goal should be 7, but that's a lot.
Yeah, they said. Yeah, I've heard about that before too, saying that your goal should be to have like 7 different streams of income, right? And I think your streams of income right now, they're very hands-on, right? Because yoga, you gotta go there and spend your time. Your 9 to 5, you gotta go there, spend your time. SquirrelTalk, you gotta actually be out there, right? Spend time. I think Turbo is one. I think that might be the one where you least spend your time, right? Or does that still very like time consuming? Yeah,
just getting around and all that.
Okay, because especially with LA traffic, right?
Yeah, especially LAX, because LAX is, oh my goodness, it's crazy, all the traffic there. Some days it's like a 5-minute drive in, some days it's like 40 minutes, like just to walk inside, not walk inside, to go inside the airport. So,
and then Uber Eats, of course, that one's also like time consuming too. But I think eventually, I'm pretty sure, like the way you're hustling and stuff like that, I think eventually you'll be able to get a couple of streams of income where it's not like time consuming anymore, Yeah. You know what they say, like making money while you sleep? Like something where maybe you could sell something online, maybe you could sell a product online, or a type of classes online. Like you never know what you could come up with. Yeah. Or even like maybe in the future, SquirrelTalk would be monetized, and then you could even make money while you sleep, right? Yeah. So I'm pretty sure. So even though right now I think your hustles are very like the amount of money you get is also like how much time you're putting into it. But I think eventually, you'll probably get there to 7. Yeah. And so what was like the first one that you started with?
Well, my first job, or you're saying like something on the side?
Like so you had your 9 to 5? Yeah. And then you decided to like branch out and get something on the side?
Well, first I was working at a CVS. I'm not sure what that was, like my job like throughout college and all that until my last year. But yeah, it was the first thing would be Turo. That was the first thing, because me and my friend, we went to Hawaii, and then we actually got a car there, and then like we rented it out there, and then we're just like, they could do it. That's a pretty good idea. If they could do it, why can't we? And then
So how long have you been doing Turo for?
It's actually been like almost about to be a year. Oh wow! Yeah, right now it was February last year when I started. So.
And how is that? How it's Turo? It's called Turo. Yeah. How does like Turo work? Like.
They basically call it like the Airbnb for like cars, so it's like peer to peer. So someone just like books someone wants to book the car. They put like the different days, the time it picks up, the time they want to pick it up, the time they want to drop it off, and all that, and then the location, which is for the most part it's like LAX, Burbank Airport, Union Station. Sometimes it's nice when they do. Sometimes they pick it up like from my house, so they don't like physically have to be there. Yeah, but then they do that, and then you just take the car at the time. And at the time, when I first started, I was just trying to see how it all like began and all that. But I used to actually like drop off the car to the loading zone. But I guess you're not supposed to be doing that. But so I've been leaving in the airports, like the parking lots, and then I just have it do it remotely. I have like a lockbox, and then just getting the code once they send their verification of ID and all that. So it's kind of like more remote. You can just drop it off like earlier. Like let's say I work like at 9, and I'll take it like at 8, and then just drop it off there, and then they just pick it up hours later.
Oh wow!
So I think it's kind of like you're saying, it's kind of like more on your time. Like that one's the most flexible, kind of.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like that one is. But and have you? Is it pretty? Is it pretty good income as opposed to like, well, comparing it to like the amount of maintenance that you put on the car?
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty good like source of income.
Yeah, I'd say it definitely bypasses the amount that like you have to pay for it, like monthly and all that.
Really?
And like the maintenance is like oil change, like the tire here and there.
Yeah,
just
and
stuff for the car.
brakes and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it's my first year doing it too, so I'm gonna see how
How
my
it goes
receipts for the taxes and all that too.
Oh, okay.
Because you have to remember it. I had to put down like the down payment for it, so it's like the down payment you still have to like make up that. So it's definitely bypassing the monthly, but it still has to like make up the down payment.
Oh, okay.
But eventually, yeah. But it is like paying itself off and all that, and then basically long term over like short term, it's good.
Okay, that makes sense. And I was gonna ask you, have you had any like horrible experiences with Turo, like bad customers or somewhere like? Because I'm pretty sure just like Airbnb, if someone leaves a mess, you charge them, right, for like the cleaning fee and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever had like a bad customer?
Well, I had someone actually come in like kind of later. It was like an international flight, so I guess they're having like problems at the
like a delayed flight or something.
Yeah, it was kind of like, so I was kind of waiting there for like an hour or 2 hours.
Oh,
so then
at the airport?
Yeah, and I was at the loading zone at the time too, and I was like messaging them because they were at the, I guess they didn't have the best reception, or they were like talking to whoever they had to talk to. But then I was just there for like an hour, and I was like, all right, I was getting kind of hungry. It's like, it was Saturday night, I think I just had plans. I was like, I had a flake on someone because of it too. And then, I just want to go get food, and then I was like, all right. And then as soon as I left too, it was like, as soon as I left to get my food and I was waiting in line, she's like, okay, I'm here. I'm like, oh my goodness. It's like, now you tell me. But it's just stuff like that. It's just kind of like the waiting portion at first, but now that I'm doing it kind of more remote, like with the lockbox and all that.
So I think that's a lot better.
Yeah,
that's a good way of like finding a problem and then just making a solution so it doesn't happen again to you.
Yeah.
And then you were over there starving in the cold probably.
Yeah.
No, but that's good. So after Turo, what was the one after? So you had your 9 to 5 Turo.
Yeah.
And then what was next?
Yeah, I mean, I did do something else. It's more of a seasonal thing. It was I was one of those clowns at the scare mazes.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was called Valley Fright Nights.
That's nice, and I'm pretty sure that one was mostly just like nights and weekends, right?
Yeah, it was just like Thursday to Sunday, and then it was just, I'd have a shopping cart, I'd have like a clown mask, and I was just like I actually recorded myself from the back. It was just scaring people. I put my phone up on the stand.
Damn.
Put my phone up on the stand and just.
How was that experience? Would you do it again next Halloween?
I think I would be down. I feel like a lot of people are there. We're kind of like, they've done it before, or they're kind of like more
like older, like.
Yeah, I met this guy who was like in clown college, and people are like acting and all that.
Interesting.
I feel like it's a different experience than like your typical like office job or something, because there's like a different. There's like different people just having their own Because it's technically like a scare actor, so it's like that feel that you kind of see yourself in different people and all that.
Now that you've been, if you had that job and you were around people who like wanted to pursue acting, and then you're doing like your Squirrelgram and SquirrelTalk, would you think you would want to pursue acting too?
I'm not sure about acting like right now, because I just know the competition, just LA.
Yeah.
Like, people come here strictly for acting.
Yeah.
And it's
that's
like
true.
LA.
Like that's their passion, that's their life, and that's how they want to work towards,
Yeah, but there is something down the line that there's a there's a magic card that I can't reveal today, but stay tuned.
Okay, stay tuned,
There's
guys.
just something with it, but yeah, but I mean, I did take a couple of improv classes too.
Okay,
That's kind of like acting, pretty much. They give you like some scenes or just different like improv like skits, or you just gotta think on the spot, just stuff like that.
I've taken some classes, but as a kid, like elementary, but I've never really pursued anything. But it'd be fun to, like, honestly. Right now, I think what I'm trying to pursue is more hobbies, and not like. Well, of course, I would want like the multiple sources of income.
Yeah.
And I'm trying. I'm thinking. I'm thinking of ways that don't really necessarily would be like me getting another job, because like I mentioned, you're doing it more of like your time equates like the money, right?
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of like other ways to do it. But also right now I'm really focusing my time on like just trying out like different hobbies as well,
Just see what you like.
Yeah, I feel like I've never really been big into hobbies as a kid or growing up.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm enjoying like doing now.
Yeah. Especially you just graduate too. It's like
I just graduated,
yeah,
so I'm like
even like in years of college now you got like this some free time.
Let me see what it's like to be an adult. Let's see what I like.
I mean, podcasting's a hobby.
Podcasting is a good hobby. I mean, and I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
I think of it like as something fun, as what I would equate back then, like going out and going to a club and how fun that was. Like I think this is like really fun too and enjoyable.
Yeah.
But going back to you, so then you had being a scaring actor.
Yeah.
And then after that, what came next?
Yeah, it was actually the yoga thing, cause.
So you've been doing it for a while.
Well, October. Because my friend, he was actually a yoga instructor, like, and then I just kind of saw the transformation that he went through, and then I was like, well.
Like physical transformation?
That and like mentally too. I just saw like the place he was before and the place where he was after. And then I was like, oh, like that's he was telling me it was all about like that. It's just kind of like it's like meditation, anatomy, and just like public speaking. It seems like all in one.
Well, those are really good skills to have.
Yeah, but I mean, I still be struggling out there, but I'm trying.
Yeah, I know. That's good. I feel like yoga is something I would want to try as well, like as a hobby.
Yeah.
One of I played football during high school.
Yeah.
And one of my coaches, he would make us do like some really good stretches that I've never heard of before. I'm pretty sure he got them from like yoga.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, this is actually really, like, it feels really nice, like doing it after a workout. Or even if we were to do it separate, like it's nice feeling like the small pains from stretching or just being flexible and stuff like that, or just like controlling your breathing. So I feel like that's something I would want to try. So maybe once you become an instructor, you can invite me to one of your classes, huh?
Yeah, pull it.
Yeah. So you saw a big change in your friend.
Yeah, pretty much. Like kind of.
What were some of the big changes that happened with him?
Well, like just his overall like your energy. You know how like your energy is like when you first come out, like walking like towards someone, they say it's your energy is like the first thing that people kind of notice, and that I kind of saw that change. And he was just telling me about all the inner work they kind of do too. Yeah. It's all the journaling, the quizzes, and all that. It's like there's like a lot of beneficial stuff.
That's pretty cool. So then you would want to pursue being an instructor as well.
Yeah, because part of it too is like you got to take working out or doing anything in general, like for your your physical body, it takes time out of your day. Right. So in the back of my head, I've always been like, I want to find something on the side where I could kind of like use some of that time
to like work out and be physically active, right?
Yeah, but I never really saw myself as like a trainer or stuff in the gym. But then just being in there and just seeing like, because it's the hot yoga I'm doing, so it's like you're like kind of forced to sweat and all that.
That's cool. That's
and
cool.
It's just seeing like how to like kind of master it, because I guess like they say too, the best way to learn or the best way to like do anything is kind of like to teach it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could learn how to teach like meditation, which is like they say, or breath work, because like personally my breathing, I don't feel like it's the best too. Like I don't really have like a good strong sense of smell, so I feel like that'll kind of like help with that too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Wow, that's interesting, man. And then so you started that in October, kind of I guess right after like the scary gig that you had, or around the same time. And then so when did you get into Uber Eats?
It was actually pretty recent, probably December last year.
Okay. Wow. And how has that been? Like, cause I know one of our other friends also does it. What's his name?
Jeremy.
Oh, Jeremy does it too?
He does DoorDash.
Oh, okay. Because I know Gio does it too.
Oh, Gio, yeah.
Oh, wow. So Jeremy and Gio do it.
Yeah. I mean, anyone, you pretty much like sign up as long as you have a car. Or even if you don't have a car too, you can still do it, because they have like a program where it's like Uber Eats, like rentals. So you can even you could be a driver. You could do rentals. So you could literally rent out a car for them and then from them, and then you get paid to do it. Yeah, I'm still trying to see how the taxes and all that works. Yeah. Because I've been saving everything, and I'm gonna make my appointment soon. I haven't gone yet.
What are you thinking of doing your taxes?
There's this thing guy I've been going to, like before I even like signed up for this stuff too. I kind of talked to him. So you have to see, like, before you do something, you have to kind of like see a professional and all that. But he's like called those tax pros. Okay. Yeah.
Do you are you open to driving anywhere? Because I know that Gio, he stays around where he lives. Like, he stays around his area. He doesn't want to come into like the city or downtown LA area, even though it's I've from what I've been told is it's more money, and it's more deliveries, and might even be closer locations. Yeah. But he wants to, but it's also more traffic, no parking and stuff like that in downtown, right? So he stays around his area where he lives. Do you do long trips, or do you like to stay around where you live as well?
No, yeah, actually that's a thing that I heard about, like kind of like staying in your area, and I heard there's like different modes for that, but yeah, for me, I'm kind of like a adventurous type too. I don't know. You're like, I just want to try. Yeah, I don't mind going to like different areas, because you do kind of discover new locations too. So it's like you go pick up a food and it's like a new location you never heard about.
So maybe you just find a good food place.
You just pull up and you're like, oh, what's this? And then gotta put it in my take a screenshot or something, and like I'm gonna go back later. But yeah, I've gone to downtown, West Hollywood, Pasadena, pretty much wherever it's kind of like taking me. I just kind of give myself a time, like, oh, I'm gonna start here, then I'm gonna stop like at 11 o'clock or something, midnight, and after that I'm gonna head back home. So I just kind of give myself a time frame rather than like a location area. But I'd say it was weird. Out of all the downtown experience, I'd say my first one was kind of the weirdest.
Really? Why?
But then I don't really mind it like after that, because I forgot the name of the shopping area, but it's like I had to go down some stairs, and then the restaurant was closed. So then I had to wait for them, because I guess they're making the food as like the restaurant was closed.
Like the one on Figueroa, like the mall?
Yeah. That one, it says like Fig at 6 or something, I think. It's where you could like walk down some stairs. So I'm just drawing a blank. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, it's the by the 777 tower, right?
Yeah, I think so.
There's like a Gold's Gym, a Target.
Yeah, right there. There's some food.
Yeah, the food places are
the bottom. There's some restaurant at the bottom. It was probably like 11 o'clock at night or something like that. And then I had to park like on the street, and I didn't even know if the street parking was okay. Yeah. Because it said something. I saw some other guy do it, so I was like, alright, if I get a ticket, he's gonna get a ticket too. And there's like 6 other Uber Eats down there, and then everyone's just waiting for the food to come out, because the door was closed from the restaurant. So the door was actually closed, so they had to come out to bring it out too.
Was this like during the? Oh well, this is recently. I was about to ask you if it was during the pandemic, but no. So it was recently. Yeah, I think that's one of the things where it's like, you hope the food is ready, and then you don't know where to park. You don't want to get a ticket, so it's kind of like it brings up your anxiety. I feel like, right? I feel like if I was in that situation, I'd be kind of anxious. Like, I'm leaving my car over there in the middle of nowhere, and then this guy's not hurrying up with the food, and then I need to go all the way back upstairs. Yeah. Like, I feel like I would hate it, bro. Like, downtown.
Yeah.
But
I mean, besides that though, it's been pretty good. Like even in downtown, like because they have those spaces where you can just like kind of leave your car, and they have the lane right. It's like the parking, then the one lane, and then it's the street. So for the most part, there's like a lane right there.
Yeah,
I just like leave it with my lights on. I mean, I haven't got tickets so far, but
okay.
yeah, I do be ending up in some of those like apartments. That's kind of like I've been trying to get a little bit just like camera photography, all that. Just whenever I see stuff like a mural or like a nice, because there's so many views of downtown everywhere. I've seen so many different angles, but it's just like different views of downtown. It's like, so as I'm doing kind of the Uber Eats, I kind of get some pictures too.
Yeah.
And like it's cool because you listen to some like podcasts like this. So it's like while you're driving,
yeah,
you're kind of like learning too, stuff like that.
That's awesome, bro. I feel like I've never had any bad experiences with like Uber Eats or DoorDash or anything like that. I feel like they've all been like very good. Yeah. But I have had some situations where my Uber, because I usually get Uber like where I don't want to drive, right? So it's usually like in a bad time in terms of there's a lot of traffic. So I remember there was this one guy who I was going to the Orange County office, and this guy, he picks me up and we're talking. He's cool, you know. He's being like accommodating. He wants his 5 stars. Yeah. All of a sudden, he hits me with the, "Hey man, so I'm so sorry, but I won't get back in time. Like I need to be somewhere, and like I can't miss that appointment. I'm a photographer." So it's understandable, right? He has another hustle or the career and passion he wants to pursue. But I'm like, man, you already picked me up, you know? And he left. He had to leave me like at a Starbucks. Oh, wow. And then I had to get like another Uber, man.
Was it far from the place where you going?
Yeah, because I was going... Yeah, because okay, so I'm in LA, right? Yeah. I had to go to the Orange County office, which is like passing Santa Ana and all that, passing Disneyland. He literally dropped me off like maybe Downey or like it was passing Commerce. It was going that way. It might have been Downey or maybe I didn't even reach Downey yet. So I was technically still very close to home. But with so much traffic, it was already like 20 minutes later. Yeah. So it still took me like another hour to get there. So I had to wait for another Uber. And it's not the first time. And like I've had Ubers that accept me, and then they see where I'm going or something like that, and then they cancel on me, man. It's the worst.
I didn't know it was like that.
Because then
some people...
Yeah, especially like in the morning when I'm like, okay, I have an hour to get there, right? And of course, I'm like, okay, it'll take 10 minutes for an Uber, to choose an Uber. It'll take it maybe like another 10 minutes to get here, so then I have 40 minutes to get there and I'm good, right? Yeah. But then if they cancel on me, those are already 20 minutes wasted, and then I need to wait another 20 minutes, you know? Yeah. And it just sucks, man. But that's my experience with like Uber and stuff. But I've gotten like Uber Eats in Mexico, and it's pretty good. Like there's guys on bikes.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And they're really quick. Yeah. Like I remember on my last day that I was like in Guadalajara, we ordered like tacos and like horchata. Yeah. And this guy, he brought it quick. Like he brought the horchata. He brought it in a bag. The horchata, but it was fine. But then I'm like, oh shit, like should I tip him? But then I'm like, oh wait, I could tip like through the app. Yeah. And it's just like so convenient that like in the big cities in Mexico, like we could do Uber now too.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah.
So like, and it's way cheaper than getting a taxi.
Yeah. Because
when you get Uber, there's no negotiating, there's no anything, and it feels just like quick.
Yeah, you're just kind of used to it too. It's kind of like a rapport. It's like like a McDonald'sization. Like that concept. It's like you're familiar with it, so it's like taxi drivers, you never know. So
yeah, like, and then also the thing about Uber, you know how you were telling me that you could rent a car? Yeah. Like most Ubers in Mexico, they're renting the car, and then to do like Uber. So most of them, it's like we get the same car. So I remember for my family where it's a lot of us, so then we would get Uber XL. And it was always the same car because that's like the XL that they would rent to them. And it was like very nice and convenient to know already how many seats there were, and how that car worked. So then we could just be like, okay, this is where we're going to sit. So every trip that we made, we already knew how we were going to sit. So that was like pretty convenient.
That's cool.
Yeah, because when we get a taxi, they usually only have like small taxis, so it's only like one person on the side and then 2 or 3 people in the back, and then usually they're very small, and then you still gotta negotiate like the price and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you got bags or something too.
So it's not as good, but yeah, man, I'm glad that you actually liked it. Besides that first experience of doing Uber Eats, but have you found any like cool and amazing like food places through it that you've gone back to?
Well, it's kind of been more like my bucket list. I haven't really actually gone back to some of those places, but it's just one of those things like it's like, all right, I'll do it's like in the back of my head things.
Yeah.
Just to scroll back through the list and all that, but yeah, just be in like different areas, and then so if it's like if I'm in the area again, I'll be like, oh, this place is over here or this is over there, so then just to check it out. But personally, I haven't gone back to like any places as of the moment.
Okay, that's understandable. And now going, I guess, kind of something we kind of skipped over. It was like your 9 to 5. Like, what was your major when you graduated from college?
It was like management, operations supply chain.
Operations supply chain.
That was a full thing.
And what's your 9 to 5 now, and how do you like it?
Well, it's for post production. They do so after like the movies and TV shows. Nice. They be doing all the editing there. But I don't work like in that department.
Yeah.
I work in a different department. It's kind of like the billing and a little bit of HR.
Okay.
So I basically work with like the account manager and the CFO. I'm like an assistant to them.
Oh wow.
So if they ever like need anything, they kind of like reach out like, hey, can you do this for me? That just kind of like little errands here and there.
Yeah. But
for the most part, it's kind of like the account management. That's it. Like kind of like creating, sending out the invoices, the Excel sheets, like the submissions for all the.
Do you enjoy it there? You feel like you're gonna be there for a while?
Well, I know the best opportunities and the best like career paths. I heard they're best. How do I phrase it? It's not really like planned, so it's kind of
okay. That's understandable.
Yeah, that you have to prepare yourself
for any change that's coming, right?
And if something pops up, then it'll pop up. But yeah, I feel like there's definitely good potential. There's different routes that are possible to go down there, but I'm not like I haven't like committed anything.
You don't want to like cement that you're gonna be there for like some amount of time.
Yeah. Because
you never know when a new opportunity is gonna come, right?
Yeah,
that's totally understandable. So now let's talk about SquirrelTalk, man.
So we gotta put it on then.
No, if you want, like, so. One thing about you, bro, that's really cool is that you go to all these different festivals, and then you go out to the clubs, and you take your squirrel costume, right?
Yeah.
So what came first? You wanting to go out in a costume, or you having the costume and then going out with it?
Sorry, say that one more time.
Like, did you have the costume first, and then you're like, this would be pretty cool if I take it out a party? Or where you're like, it'd be cool to party with a costume and you bought it.
Oh, the first one actually wasn't even a party. It was a roller skating night.
Oh, really?
I don't think you went to that one.
No.
For HBS. It was, I remember it was either a TikTok or I saw like something. It was like, Halloween starts on October 1st. And then it was like a couple of days before October. And I was like, oh, they're right. And then Halloween does start then. Because I remember the year previously, I had gone to the Halloween store, and then at the Halloween store, they're out of all the good stuff. So I was like, I gotta go earlier in the month to get a costume.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I'm gonna go on October 1st then. So I got the costume on October 1st. And it was, I think it was with Long Beach. They were doing a roller skating collab.
Oh,
so it was on October 1st, I think. So I was like, I might as well. I got the costume in my car. I was like, I'm gonna just bring it out.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's Halloween time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first outing in it.
Oh wow! What did people say?
There's actually these kids that kept like wanting to race with me, and like they probably thought I worked there. That's the one thing I get like all the time.
Like
they're like, do you work here? I'm like, no, I'm like trying to start out something, so potentially I could or something. But as they say, opportunities come as they come. You can't like force it, but. Every time I go out somewhere, they're like, well, do you work here? I'm like, no, but...
Especially at a roller skating event that's so, like, family-oriented.
Yeah.
Like, I would think that, too, like, oh, he works here, and he's like...
Yeah.
He's like for kids to take pictures, you know?
Yeah, these kids were trying to race me, too. She was like, oh, I'm gonna race you around the ring two or three times, and then the winner has to like do something for like buy his own, not a drink, that food or something. And I was like, I don't want to race. This is like my second time out here. I don't know how to skate that good. So then I was like, oh, I'm good. I don't know. But then they would do it and I would beat you and be like, oh no, I said I didn't want to race. And it was I got kind of mad too, because this one girl, she kept recording me like the whole night, like a bunch of like different videos. And then I was like, oh, do you think you could send that to me? She's like, is it okay? Because we took a picture together, and then she's like, can I post this on Instagram? I'm like, oh yeah, it's cool. And then I was like, well, do you think you could send me all the stuff? Like all the videos that she took? Because she's really like, basically, there was like a videographer for the night. She was just like doing everything. And then I was like, I gave her my number, but then she never sent me the videos. So I was like, oh my goodness. So you live and you learn.
But did you ever, because she didn't have your social media, so she didn't tag you either, huh? Yeah. So there's a picture of you out there the first time you wore the squirrel suit. And there's a picture out there of a girl and you in a picture, and then you don't even have it.
Yeah, basically.
Oh man.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that happens kind of often though, especially when I'm out. Like, when people ask for a picture or whatever, but it's like, I don't even have the time, or not that I don't have the time, but I don't always like, oh, do you have the ad so you could like tag me or something? Yeah. Like, I don't really that kind of fixate on that, although I probably should a little more. Yeah, so like that you can have a history and see like other different stuff that you do. Because I've definitely seen you with the costume at clubs. Yeah. I've seen you at like house parties and stuff like that. Oh, and it's really cool, bro. Like even and the thing about it is that, so are you naturally like an extrovert when it comes to parties? Or do you feel like the costume gives you like an edge? Because you be out there like in the on stage, bro. Like you be out there trying to like hype up the club. Yeah. Like, is that something that comes like when you put on the costume, or is that something that you would do naturally even before the costume? Yeah, I think before the costume a little more. That I would be a little more like intoxicated. I would say. Oh, okay. So it would kind of bring it out. So I can't really I can't really speak to say that how I would be like how I would see myself as extroverted, but I know for sure I definitely
with some drinks in.
Yeah, I know for sure. Even in the past couple of years, like I did have more. I feel like if this would happen a couple of years ago, it would have been even like more like crazier like videos and all that, because I feel like I'm not saying I'm old, but I'm definitely saying my energy from when I was like 21. I'm 24 now, so from when I was 21 to 24 is like different.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You could definitely feel the difference, but I feel like I was always kind of like that, just like I would go in the mosh pits or just like do
like the life of the party and stuff like that.
But then what's it called? But then I just say this kind of brings it to like a whole another level, especially when I go with like Leo and stuff like that, because he'd be recording me, trying to like get the flash, and other people too. Like I'd be getting some videos from other people. Or I see them on the story the next day. I'm like, what? Like the one guy, the boys in 90, I made a reel about it. I was like, I didn't even know I came out on their YouTube video. I guess they go like to different places, like different colleges and different parties and all that, and then they just travel like America, or I don't even know where they travel. They just travel different places. And I just woke up, and then this one guy, he was actually part of the UCLA HBS. He's like, "Is this you in this video?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then I click on the video, and then it's just me going like this, like, and then their video, and I was like, so I'm pretty sure like I'll probably ended up in different places, different videos. I just don't know.
Oh, okay. That's really cool, man. And when did you first get the idea of making this into a social media page? Because you first started with the skits, huh? Like with the TikToks?
Kinda, yeah. And then last year too, I made this one like a minute long video. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's just it was just different places. Like I brought it to the other social we did. It was the carving the pumpkins. The carving the pumpkins. We didn't even end up carving them. What's it called? We went through this maze thing, and then it's just different clips of me. But then, if I'm gonna be honest, it was kind of Leo that kind of like pushed me a little bit.
Nice.
Because I was in my head, it was always kind of in the back of my head. But then Leo, I think he wanted to get some experience for his like marketing thing too.
For his marketing job.
So his resume. So then he was giving me some pointers here and there, and then if I'm gonna be honest, he helped me a lot.
He's the one that pushed you to like start the page and stuff like that.
So I did have it, but then it was like I wasn't really like putting it. I wasn't really putting stuff out as much. It was just kind of like
Okay.
in the back of my head.
The skits are really funny, bro. Like a lot of them are really good.
Yeah, that's what's kind of annoying, but it's not annoying, but it's just anything with content creation is like
it takes a lot of time.
And it's like I'm putting a lot of effort, and I haven't seen like too much growth, I'd say. But I know that's probably just the thing, because every person like I come across too, they always say that, oh, I love your page. Sometimes they be scrolling through it, like with their partners or whatever, they tell me that. But then it's like, but then I don't really see the growth, so it's like people are saying one thing, but then this, but then I just gotta kind of stick to it.
I think it's always gonna be that your people are always gonna support you, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm always watch your stuff, I'm always support you, and I think it's good. But we want to get that to the people that don't know us, right? Yeah. And it's the same thing with the podcast. Like I'm getting love from the people that like know us.
Yeah.
But you know, of course, I also want it to be out there and be clickable to people that don't know who we are. You know, like on YouTube and stuff like that. And I think it's a process, definitely.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like social media, I feel like it just takes one video to blow up, right? For the rest of them to kind of get traction too.
Yeah.
So I think you just gotta be consistent. But I'm pretty sure. So was Leo also the one that kind of made you transition from not just skits, but like interviewing people?
Oh, like the street interviews?
Yeah, the street interviews.
Yeah, I'm 100% honest. He was the one that kind of was like, oh yeah, you should probably get into this to see how it goes.
I mean, because you guys already be clubbing like every day, bro.
Not. I've been trying to cut down recently, but yeah, there was that phase where it's like.
It was like, well, especially Leo, dude. Leo clubs like every day, dude.
Yeah.
Every day he's out there clubbing and stuff, so it makes sense after the club, just interviewing someone. You know, you're already out there.
Yeah.
What was the most memorable interview that you've done?
Damn. Well, there's this one. I haven't done like too crazy amounts interviews, but I'd say that this one that it was the one where it's like, how should a guy slide you into your DMs? I don't know if you've seen that one.
Which one was it? The one there.
It was after a Trapaton, and then I asked this one girl, how should a guy slide into your DMs? And it's like, she was like, oh, you should slide in like with a nut and all that.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay, yeah. I think so. In terms of like as a viewer, one of my like most memorable ones are the ones where where the girls like, I like the holiday season.
Oh.
I like Thanksgiving. and then you told her like, why? Because you like to be stuffed?
She's like, oh, I like stuffing. She's like,
oh yeah, she's like, I like stuffing. And you're like, you like to be stuffed? And then they just started laughing, bro.
Yeah.
I think that one was memorable. Also, of course, that girl that you interviewed twice.
Oh,
the one that's all like, men are toxic, or what'd she say?
Yeah, men are trash. They belong in the dumpster.
Oh yeah, she's all like, men are trash. They belong in the dumpster.
Yeah.
And then she's all like, and then what was the one about the signs where she's all like,
if you're this sign, then you're toxic or you're still trash.
Oh yeah. She was talking about like zodiac signs, like if you're this, and this. She's like, basically, if they have a sign.
Yeah.
So that's basically everyone.
All men are trash.
Yeah, that's what she said. All men are trash.
I mean, it's in our like kind of DNA to kind of have like those trashy thoughts. You just kind of have to like fight it and like kind of.
And then when you interviewed her the other time, she was all like, "No, I'm into girls now. Men are trash."
Yeah, and that one was crazy because I remember I was rewatching the video too, and it said like, I was trying to like get footage of the because there was a fight going on.
Oh really?
There was a fight going on to the side, and I was kind of narrating it, and then I was like, oh, the future's unpredictable, anything can happen. And then right after I said those words, she came up and she's like, hey, what's up?
Oh, so she went up to you.
Well, for that one, because I think she was asking for the footage of the last one or something, or she recognized me from the last one.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, I remember I said those words like the future is unpredictable, and after that she came up and I was like,
nice, dude, that's nice.
That was random.
No, yeah, she seems like a funny girl, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then those are like the memorable ones to me in terms of like the interviewing people. Have you ever had like? Because it could be dangerous being outside, like, at 2 a.m., right?
Yeah.
Has there been any time where you felt like you were in danger? Or, like, where an interview went wrong?
I wouldn't say we went wrong. It's just sometimes like some people don't want to do it. So I mean, it's out of respect too. It's like, oh, you just ask for the consent. Like, oh, I have a social media page you're trying to start up. We're doing street interviews. Do you want to come out? And if they say no, it's like, oh, just have a good night. So I wouldn't say any.
Oh, so it's also a lot of rejections and stuff.
I mean, yeah, kind of like that too, because like what you do too, like while you're editing, whatever, like behind the scenes, there's always more to it than like what you just see. Like I even heard for, oh, I forgot what it was. It was like for a movie, like it's like a whole year just to like get certain like a 30 minute chunk or something, and like there's a lot of like behind the scenes that the viewers don't always see too.
No, like that. I mean, there's times like one of my favorite movies. Apparently, they have like 5 hours of footage.
Yeah.
And they had to cut it down to like 3 hours.
Oh well.
And I'm like, man, I wonder what those 5 hours would have been like. You know?
Yeah.
So many storylines cut out or something.
Yeah, with all the editing of the interview too. Like some of them are like 2-3 minutes, but it's like you got to get it to like 30 minutes to a minute maximum. So it's like I got to like get rid of like 4 minutes, and including like the memes that I'd be throwing in there too.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to find just the good parts that the viewers are gonna what they like pretty much.
Awesome. So what has been like the most the video of yours that has blown up the most?
Well, it was Leo did make this one. I'm not gonna lie. It was the one where it's like it was a TikTok where I'm like, bro, let's hit the club, and then he's like, nah, not tonight.
Oh, you're like, wait, continue.
And then I was like, oh, let me wear the squirrel suit. He's like, nah, don't. He's like, nah. And then it was him dancing, and then it was like me dancing with this girl. And
dude, that one's really good, bro.
I've hit like 56K. I mean, it's TikTok too. I mean,
Instagram.
You can never trust like numbers, like in general too. It's like you post it on TikTok and it gets like this amount of traction. You post it on Instagram, it gets this amount of traction. But then it's like the numbers are a lot different. And on TikTok, I just trust Instagram's numbers a little bit more than TikTok, because TikTok be having too many of those like username 123 whatever accounts, and they'd be fun. It's like I'd be reposting like on TikTok, but I try to like focus on Instagram more, I guess.
Okay. Dude, that video was so good, and it was like so like well edited. It was just like, we just go to the club. So like, it's like let's hit the club. So like, okay, can I wear the squirrel suit? No, just this one time. I said no. And then it's all like, he ends up taking my girl, and then you just see Leo dancing, and he's like missing. He has like goggles, but he's missing one of the eyes. And then it's all like, he took my girl, and then you're like dancing with the girl. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. I'll give Leo props for that one though. He made that one. So
shout out Leo, bro. You've been in my aim, man. you gotta hop on and share some marketing tips, man. What are some marketing tips that you could give that you've learned from either Leo, school, or just like you creating like content?
Well, for me, it's just you kind of have to put yourself just kind of out there and
so
just kind of
see yourself out there.
Yeah, because for me, it's kind of in general, I like going. Los Angeles is so big, and there's a lot of places you could go to. So it's kind of like once you find the spot, and then once you find like sometimes you'd be doing, besides the interviews, I'd be doing those skits and stuff. Yeah. You just find like random like trending audios that you think you could do something with. And then so once you kind of just like hear the audio, or you hear just something, then it's just how you're gonna react to it, and that. So. And
I feel like you gotta be quick with it, right? Before that trend goes away.
Yeah, like I haven't really like blown up, so I can't really like say that too much. And this is kind of new to me too. It's been the past couple months, just seeing what works. But I feel like I've been pretty consistent. I was doing like every day for the most part. Yeah. But then I was saying like I didn't see like everything like go up.
You didn't see the.
So I kind of spaced it out.
How do you say it in English? You didn't see the gain from doing it daily, right? Like you didn't see like the amount of work you were putting into it. You didn't see like the growth from that, right?
Yeah, I guess you could kind of say how I feel like I was getting a little burnt out too, especially because I was doing.
Because you still got so much other things that you have to play, man.
Yeah, and then and then it was like when me and Leo kind of stopped, so I was doing it like kind of more like it was all like completely on me. So I was trying to like get someone to not get someone, but like obviously I paid them and all that, but it's just having someone else kind of be there to record and all that. it's kind of a difficulty because Jeremy's been helping me out too, but
nice.
but he's in Venice, so it's kind of far.
Yeah.
It's the only time I could go is like on the weekends, pretty much.
Damn, dude. I haven't seen Jeremy in a minute, bro.
Yeah, it's on like cool week too.
What was the last time I saw you, even?
I don't know. Yeah, just with time, everything passes. But
yeah. And then with work too, man. Like,
yeah,
weeks happen really quickly.
Was it your graduation thing? Maybe that was it.
Really? Was it that for long ago?
I don't know.
It wasn't like
or maybe like a Korean barbecue or something.
Okay, maybe.
Oh, you didn't go, huh? I remember with Rafa and Jeremy and Leo. But yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. You didn't? Did you go to like any of the Halloween parties or anything like that?
Last year, I just I went to Palapas and then I had tickets for something else, so I had left like an hour in, and I left this at home too, so I didn't get a chance to bring it. But went to the Palapas in Fullerton, just for like an hour or 2 hours, and then
I think I was there too.
Yeah,
but because I know, so maybe you left.
Oh yeah, you were there. I remember.
So we did see each other.
I think we were in line next to each other. No, was he?
Were you with Jose too?
He was there, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember Jose was there, Leo was there, and then even Chris ended up leaving early.
Yeah. Because
he had to work. So it might have been Palapas then.
Yeah, it's a minute.
It's been a minute since Halloween, bro. But it's crazy because time goes quick.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think that might have been like the last time I saw Jeremy too.
Yeah.
And like Leo.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we kind of all saw each other more too when we were all in school.
Yeah, I mean, and then
we're in school.
Did you also go to like Dodger game?
I went to the Cal State LA one.
Yeah. Sure so we saw each other probably there too.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember that one too.
Yeah, so then we saw each other there. I think it's when we have events, right, that we see each other.
That's for the most part, yeah.
But I think after like Halloween, I kind of got burned out. Because I think I went out like every single weekend on Halloween because it's just like partying in costumes at school, you know?
Yeah.
And then I think November hit and I think I just got more focused into work. And then December I went on vacation and then January happened and then January was just adapting back from vacation. And then February hit and then just like time goes quick, you know?
Yeah.
Like I feel like after Halloween, it was just holidays and then I went on vacation and then I came back and had to work.
No, yeah, that's definitely...
So time, like those 3 months, they kind of flew by me, man.
Yeah, that time of year is always like, it's Halloween, then Thanksgiving, then Christmas, then New Year's, then it's like...
Yeah, I feel like after Halloween, like everything just goes by quick.
Yeah.
Because it's the holidays too, so you get time off work, you spend time with family.
Yeah, more time.
It gets cold too, so like...
Yeah, it's been cold lately, like so much.
Yeah. But that's awesome, man. How do you think, where do you see SquirrelTalk going from here? Because I know you have the skits, you have the interviews. Is there anything else you would want to incorporate?
Well, something else that's been on the back of my head, but I know I shouldn't focus too much on it now, I guess. Yeah. Because I feel like I got to get more like my career, little stuff like that first. But I did want to kind of like make music. That was part of it too. Is like part of me too kind of wanted to wait to like kind of like promote this and all that. But I was like, I'm gonna just do it.
Like James music or like SquirrelTalk music?
Well, they kind of like EDM music and all that.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
nice.
So I always been a fan of like going to raves and all that. But that just kind of sitting more in the back of my head. I'm like, nah, I gotta wait a bit because, like they say, like Shaq, he was a DJ, and I feel like you gotta go through a phase. Like it's a DJ phase that you gotta go through. But
dude, Shaq, but he's like a legit DJ because he be going to like Papa's and beer and stuff like that, right? And then he also had like a Shocktoberfest or something.
No, yeah, I pulled up there. I didn't even know about it. I went to Turo actually. Yeah. So when I dropped off their car there, and they're like, "Well, it's at this address," and then I pulled up and Shocktober. I didn't even know. I was like, "Oh,
damn!" Shaq be doing everything, bro. He's all about that hustle, man.
That's I mean, he came to LA for entertainment. And now he's doing it. Because that's why him and Kobe.
Yeah. I mean, he was over there and they were over here dissing each other on the rap tracks and stuff like that.
No, Shaq's a legend.
Yeah, he's something else for sure. But speaking about EDM, like, how'd you get into raving?
If I'm gonna be honest, it was one of those Instagram ads.
Really?
Yeah, I just heard it was something about like one of those tickets to Beyond. I think it was Beyond. It was my first rave. And then I was just like, what was this? And then I kind of looked into it.
And it just looks like a huge party, huh?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like from the ads.
Then I just hit up some of my friends, and then we went, and then, yeah, the rest was kind of...
The rest is history.
Yeah.
So how many raves have you been to now? Well, raves, because I know there's a difference, right? Like, there's raves, like, every weekend, right? Like, at warehouses and stuff like that. And then there's also, like, festivals.
Oh,
festivals. Like, how many festivals have you been to now?
Well, I haven't been going as much recently, but definitely in, like, sophomore to, like, junior, like, senior year, like, at college. Like, I had gone to... I went to Rolling Loud, like, 2 or 3 years in a row, and then Escape. I went to the last recent Escape, too. I went to Countdown. And, yeah, Hard Summer. Went to those.
Okay, nice.
It was, like, 4 or 5.
I've only been to one, man, so I'm a noob.
Yeah, I mean, those were all kind of within, like a 2-3 year span. I was just, like, I'd kind of go more. I went last year to Escape, though.
Nice.
Well, the past 2 years to Escape. But as for other festivals, I haven't been going as much recently. It was more like a couple years ago.
Okay.
But pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandemic, okay, that makes sense, man. Well, are there any tips you would give out to the newbies, to the new ravers out there? To the new festival goers, specifically?
Well, I mean, don't be afraid to, like, go by yourself. I know sometimes people, like, some people like, oh, I want to go, but no one wants to go with me or something like that. People, I hear that's the thing that happens often. Or if you have, like, a group of people that you know that probably want to go to, it's like, I know they say stay as a group, but once you go, sometimes it's hard to stay as a group because it's so packed there. So yeah, I'd say definitely stay hydrated. Like, know your body, know your limits. Like,
that's true.
I personally don't partake in some of the activities that go on down there, but there's stuff that you can take a sip of water or something that you don't know what it is, but always, like, go with people you trust and, like, take stuff from people you trust if you were to partake in that route. Because I know that happens sometimes, but you definitely have to know what you're, like, getting yourself into. You're not, like, do anything like that.
And also, it's a long, if you go from beginning to end, it's a long day, guys. Like, you just wear comfortable shoes, because you're probably going to be dancing all night, walking all night. And it could get pretty expensive too, man. The drinks be like $20.
No, yeah.
Food is $20.
Yeah, for Look was like $18, I remember. Like $3. But...
Yeah, so you gotta definitely, like, make sure that you have enough money to spend to have a good time, right? Like, you could cheap it out, right? Like, you could go. The thing about it is that I know there's a lot of people that go already inside, like, drunk.
Yeah.
But then it's all like. And then they end up leaving, like, really early because they're too messed up. So they don't even enjoy the festival. So I think it's like, I feel like festivals are definitely, like, they're a marathon, you know? Like, pace yourself so you could really enjoy the whole thing. Don't just, it's not a race.
Yeah.
Man. You gotta definitely go out there, enjoy it, have fun. Don't forget to eat. That's also something too. And look out for pickpocketers, man.
Oh yeah, that even at clubs that be happening often.
Oh, even at clubs, man. Like, always.
Oh, the zippers.
Be self-aware, man.
There's some jogger. I'm not a paid sponsor, but there's sometimes there's joggers or pants that have, like, zippers. So I'd be going with, like, the pants that have zippers, so they literally can't take it if it's zippered.
Yeah. I almost got my phone stolen at EDC.
Oh yeah.
Like, I felt it. I felt it drop. Like, so it was in my pocket. Yeah. And I literally felt, like, you know, like, I didn't feel them taking it, but I felt like it slipped from their hand. So then I felt it drop back in my pocket. Like, I was this close, man, to, like, being without a phone. And it was on the last day too. So I was this close to being without a phone, and I would have probably been so miserable, man.
No, yeah, I got my phone stolen in Papa's and Beer in Mexico,
really?
And then, like, a week later, I see a YouTube. I go on my YouTube account, and it's, like, a bunch of, like, makeup tutorials. So some girl took it, yeah, definitely.
Some girl took it, and she's out there, like, watching videos?
Yeah, makeup tutorials.
But you didn't have it locked, your phone?
Huh? It's probably not.
Probably not.
No, this was years ago, so I would think it would be locked, but maybe not.
Oh, no, if it was years ago, probably not. Because I know nowadays it's required. Because you know how nowadays we could pay with your phone?
Yeah.
So it's required now to have a passcode and have Face ID. But back then, you didn't. If you don't want a passcode, you didn't have to have one, and there was like no Face ID back in the day either. So maybe she's out there watching beauty videos on your phone.
I know. It was like, cause I didn't know what happened to it, and then like once my YouTube and I see that, and like that happened.
All right, man. Wow, this has been a good interview. Anything else you want to tell the people, man?
Well, I know this is hard for everyone in general, like me too, but it's just you kind of don't gotta stop caring as much as you should, because this world is just it's a crazy world, and there's like so many people out there. I mean, like 7-8 billion, and sometimes you kind of like when you're just walking or something, you kind of like let people kind of get to you sometimes, and it's like, oh, what are they gonna think? Or
I feel like that's a big one, man. Like,
yeah, just stop caring.
Scared about what people think.
Yeah, I mean that's something everything else that everyone goes with, but yeah, it's just try to laugh more, go out, but like be responsible, and just
live life, be happy.
Yeah, and be a positive influence. Don't try to like, because your energy is gonna reflect on the next person's energy you interact with. So just try to remember that we're all living this like human world, because we're all human. If you're listening to this right now, you got ears, and you're not an animal and like out in the wild, and yeah, we got this opportunity, especially with you. You're listening to this on the internet, so you can do whatever you want. That's my last quote. Your life is a video game, and your phone is your remote controller. I used to always say that.
That's a good one, man. Remember that. Your life is a video game, and your controller is your phone.
Your phone and the internet, so yeah.
And guys, don't forget to subscribe to No Offers. Follow us on Instagram. Follow my boy on Instagram at SquirrelGram.
SquirrelTalk, Squirrel.
And I'm going to have his social media in the comment section down below. So check him out on TikTok. Check him out on Instagram. He has a lot of funny stuff. Like, he has good skits and he has funny interviews. So definitely check that out, guys.
I've been trying.
Until next time.
Late.